So I, like usual, and I've said this a bunch of times, got home today, perusing YouTube, kind of checking in with things, just seeing what's any type of games are coming out. The usual kind of, let's see what piques my interest today. Maybe I'll make a video, maybe not. We'll just see what's going on. And pretty much at the end of it, I didn't really see a whole lot that was piquing my interest. A few things may have kind of crossed my mind, not a whole lot. Got on TikTok, just the usual boring me, just, you know what, haha, I'll send that to somebody, haha, that's going to somebody. And then kind of ended it with Twitter. Now, I'm not big on going on Twitter, but today just felt like the day I just needed to. And lo and behold, something that just completely took me off guard was while looking at it, I went to trending. I don't always go to trending. It's not a huge thing for me, but trending kind of pops off here and there, and you'll get some crazy stuff. And like I said, lo and behold, I go to trending, and Chris Benoit, of all people, is trending. Now, if you don't know, let me give you a quick little backstory. Chris Benoit was a wrestler who did something heinous. He unalived his child, his wife, and then himself. I'll get into a little bit extra detail after what I'm going to show you. But come to find out, Hulk Hogan went on ImPaulsive and decided to be a jackass. He's comparing two situations that are not comparable. It makes absolutely no sense to put the two in the same category.
If Chris Benoit can do the crap he did and the fans still love him, they're very forgiving. I've made some major mistakes in my personal life, and they're very, very forgiving, but they forgive you. But
all right, so tirade, rant, whatever you want to call it, yap session is now in session. I don't get how he would compare the two situations. So if you don't know, Hulk Hogan at one point, this is one of his little I made a mistake in his past type deal. He went on a tirade back when Brooke was supposed to be dating just some black guy. Who he was, I don't know. I didn't keep up with all of that. I just know that his racist tirade on the phone was absolute hilarity gold. It was funny to me because the dude said it with passion. He did not care. At that time, I don't think he cared who was listening. Now, how it got leaked and all that, it's whatever. But basically, in the whole tirade, he was talking about how he wished his daughter would date one of those 6'5", 7 foot tall, N-words, this, that, and the other. The gamer word, the shall not be said. Basically, if you didn't know, it's the same exact quote that Wings of Redemption said a long time ago that he gets in trouble for saying today because he's an idiot. But that's literally the quote that he was quoting, was the fact that Hogan said it. Needless to say, if you didn't notice, he's trying to compare the two, okay? So to give you more context into the Chris Benoit thing, now there is a little bit of, people trying to rationalize it a little bit, which is maybe it was CTE mixed with steroids. There's a lot of, conspiracies or theories at the same time that are going out trying to explain the situation. Now, I'm not here to argue that. I'm just merely saying there's some speculation that he was in more of a psychosis. But regardless, what happened was his child now, his small child, was finished and unalived. Same thing with his wife and then himself. And at the time, like the WWE did this huge memorial the day it happened without knowing what happened. And then by the time they figured it out, they pretty much all but wiped him out from anything. Couldn't even speak his name. And yeah, which was understandable. They didn't want that attached to the WWE. As a company. Ironically, now they're okay with abusing women, though. But anyway, basically, to get back on track, Hogan is trying to compare his tirade, his racist tirade, with a guy who literally unalived his whole family and, including a small innocent child. While, yes, the wife was innocent, stuff like that, it's almost like double worse when it's a child. The fact he's trying to compare the two is just outlandish. And here's the thing. This is what really pissed a lot of people off. And I'm definitely with him on this. He said that people forgave him for this. I think he's mixing forgave and forgetting real big. Well, yes, people haven't, forgot. What I mean is, nobody's directly thinking of that anymore. Now, if you talk about it, people aren't like, oh, wow, yeah, I completely forgot that. They're just like, oh, yeah, it kind of slipped my mind. It's a slip of the mind thing. It's just temporarily forgotten but they're not like, there's nobody that I know of probably that isn't directly involved or directly related that probably think about it often. Casuals like me that is not thinking about Chris Benoit every damn day. Yeah, I forgot it happened. I think that's the thing. People just forgot it happened, and he's confusing that. The same thing with him. People forgot he went on that tirade. Some people definitely still remember, but for the most part, people just forgot it because it's been so long and nobody actually thinks about it today. But yet again, he's trying to compare the two. He is literally trying to add 2 + 2 = fish at this fucking point. Oh, and quick thing, I'm not saying that what Hulk Hogan said was forgivable. That's kind of going to be up to individuals and stuff like that. I, for one, I just think it was really stupid. Like, I don't forgive him by no means. It's just not something that I, recollect every single day. Kind of like the Benoit stuff. And to top it off, I mean, him to say it was a mistake, I think is a little disingenuous. It wasn't like a slip of the tongue. You can make mistakes and say a dumb word and say something stupid, but he purposely said it on repeat ad nauseum. So I don't think that was a slip of the tongue. I think he literally consciously made a decision to glorify that word and literally use it. Now, I don't know if you guys that are watching this are like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Because the thing is, it's like super like disturbing to think that somebody would have the mindset to think, okay, you know what? Here's a wrestler who did something really bad. And yeah, they totally are forgiven for completely unaliving everybody that was in their house because of a psychotic episode. So me talking about my daughter or whatever, he's done a few things. I can't even like pick it off the top of my head. I'm kind of drawing a blank. But to compare the two, like he didn't go over and like run a family over with a bus. He didn't go to a children's hospital and like start elbow dropping kids. He wasn't at the Make-A-Wish Foundation, quite literally giving everybody chair shots. Like, they're not two comparable situations by no means. While you said some really bad stuff that would offend a bunch of people and it has a history of being like a very degrading word, that's all it is a word. And then you're talking about a wrestler who, like, it was done. Like, there is no coming back from that. There is no firing up the camera and making a teary apology video like a YouTuber does. Okay? While you could sit there and try to have an apology talking about how you were in a dark place, just go with that. Just go with you were in a dark place. A lot of people use that, and it seems to get them out of a lot of bad situations, and it works all the time. Why don't you just go ahead and do that instead of bringing up, a psychopath and talking about how he was forgiven? Yeah, I get some people probably forgave him just to kind of justify their own reasoning for people being bad and they can be redeemed and stuff, or they just forgave him for their own, mental well-being to try to pretend like they are on some higher plane. It's whatever, if that's how you want to live your life, cool. But you can't justify the two and say that because he was forgiven, quote unquote, that you can be forgiven too. Well, yeah, you could probably be forgotten, and some people be like, oh, you know what, I forgive you. You were being dumb and in a dark place, whatever. That's a little bit more, it makes more sense than what Benoit did. So, like, I don't see the two being compared. I don't see it being useful. And, like I said, to my surprise that he would pop up on trending to me. I don't know why he's just getting more and more famous of, like, verbal diarrhea and being a moron. I assume it's just because he just doesn't think. He's just stuck in, like, I don't know, old ways or whatever it is. But at some point, I think he just needs to quit doing these, like, interviews. He needs to sit back and realize that he's a moron and just sit at home, retire, quit. Stop doing these interviews and looking stupid. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.